All right, this is what I want to tell you. Okay, yeah, she probably has it, and just like I ain't really tell you this, I told you a little bit. Like whatever your seeing is or whatever it is, that's how they get to you, and it's most definitely trying to get to you through the situation which you have told me. And the thing is, because I'm gonna tell you how it happened to me. This was in 2017, but I didn't know what it was. Okay, and fear is sin, and I talked about this earlier. I don't. You probably didn't listen to that post, but I want to tell you this: fear is sin, and yeah, it's not something that we want to submit to, and it happens to us. But we cannot accept fear, and the thing is, and they'll try to. Okay, this is Revelation 21, and this is 8. But the fearful and unbelieving, and abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire, which burneth with fire, which burn in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone. Okay, so we can't be in fear of anything, and I had to overcome a lot of fear. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you about a little bit of what happened to me when I went through this experience. Okay, and that's most definitely what it's like was probably working against you, and it may happen another way, but that's most definitely what's going on, and it's no way to escape it. You just have to go through it. It's the will of God. It's the will of God. It's no way around it. Okay, this happened to me in 2017, and think it's 2020 now. 2020, it was revealed to me what was actually going on. See, in 2017 when it happened, I didn't know what was going on, but how it happened to me and how I end up running into this like person, this like a whole devil. They was through my sin. Fear was part of it. Okay, I was afraid somebody was gonna kill me because something I had did in my past. Okay, and also, so one day I'm gonna tell you, I had gotten out of jail, and I had, cause just tell you truly, I ain't trying to boast. I'm gonna just tell you a little bit of the part of the story about. I ended up in jail cause I had did I had robbed the bank in 2016. But anyway, um, I was at a supposed to be my friend's guy I growed up with, and I was beginning to sell drugs with him at his house, and they tried to set me up. Some folks came in there and stole something. A whole lot of stuff happened, so I left, and then I didn't want to be at my sister's house, so I'm like, man, I'm just finna go ahead and turn myself in, because I had ran from, I was on like on this probation thing called drug court, and so I was like, I'm just gonna go turn myself in, because I had stopped reporting up there. And then I'm like, and I tried to go turn myself in, and I had a warrant from a year earlier because I had went and cashed a fake check in Cobb County. So I ended up going to Cobb County. I did about, I don't know, about almost 3 months there. Almost 3 months. I went to Fulton County Jail for the hold that I had. And when I got out, and then I went back to my homeboy them, because I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to come over their house. And so they, it's a, what people gonna call a trap spot. It's a drug house. They selling drugs out the house. Folk coming in there, they paying, they paying rent and everything for the house, but it ain't nothing but drug activity going on here. People coming and shopping and going, guns and all this stuff in there. So they like, oh, what's up? They give me some money. They give me almost probably like $80 or $90. They like, what's up, man? And then so, just be honest with you, I had got some coffee, and I'm in there drinking some coffee. Now they shooting dice in there and stuff, and then I don't know, maybe I shot dice a couple of times or something. Then I set my coffee down, and I don't know, and then I start drinking the coffee, and I think somebody put something in my drink, and now when I'm after I drunk this, I'm feeling like I'm high on something, and I'm feeling not right. So I'm like, and then now they're talking about, oh, such and such, they finna have somebody coming over here. They talking about guns, and they finna try to buy some guns, and all these folk coming over here. And then in my mind, I'm thinking, man, you don't know what might go wrong. These folk might be trying to set some up, and then they like might try to rob. Then it might be a shooting. You end up getting shot. You better get away from over here. They might try to set you up. So, anyway, so I get scared. And I'm thinking like, I don't feel right, man. These folk had to put something in my drink or something. Well, you know, cause I set my coffee down in the kitchen, and then I would think I was in there shooting dice, and I went back and drunk some of it, and then a little bit I'm feeling ain't right, and so I'm getting ready to leave. So I'm like, so I thought of it playing in my mind. It's fear though. I'm like, I'm finna walk to the store. That's what I tell them. I'm finna walk to the store. So in my mind, I ain't coming back when I go to the store. And I tried to avoid this situation. It was meant for it to happen like this. Okay? And they're like, all right, bring me something back, bring me something back. And I'm not a thief and I don't do people wrong. So they're like, hey Waldo, bring me this back, bring me this back, bring me this back. Then they trying to give me the money to bring something back from the store. I'm like, nah, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. I got it, but I ain't never coming back anyway. So I would just walk to the bus stop and I go hop on the bus. So now I'm looking for somewhere to go. I called my other homeboy. He don't really live in the street like that. You know, I try to get him to see if I can spend the night over here house. And I called my other homeboy. Then I called my oldest sister. She dead now. And, you know, everybody brushed me off. I can't find nowhere to go. So I remember the rooming house that my homeboy used to stay in. So I go to the rooming house and I try to get them something for me to stay there just for the night. I had to get on the train that I got on the bus and all this. And then they're like, nah, ain't no room in here. So they set me out in. I'm going through there. I ain't feeling right. Then I see somebody. I ask them. I'm looking for somewhere to go now. I'm like, hey, I can give you like $25. Let me spend the night tonight. I don't know that person. It's just the way it is in Atlanta. I'm just trying to get away from over there. They talking about too many guns. I ain't feeling right. I feel like y'all done put something in my drink. Now, that dude, he kind of you know, gay, homosexual. I don't like seeing he saying something, whatever, something, my brother over there, something, he sounded homosexual. I'm like, all right, nah, I don't think I'm straight on that. So I'm finna go back over here on Campbellton Road. Well, it's kind of unfamiliar with the area a little bit. I might just sit outside all night. Then I thought about this lady my sister knew, and I knew she was a drug addict, so I could give her like about $25, and she'll let me in there. And then before I get down there to her house, so I ain't even have no cigarettes at that time. And I was just finna get ready walking down. I was walking down in the apartment where my sister used to stay. You know, walking down in the apartment, and that dude, you know, he just looked like a regular dude, had on a pea coat, had some dread. He probably was around about my age at that time, probably like about 25, no older than 30. He asked me for a cigarette. So I smoked cigarettes. So all right, he asked me for a cigarette, then my way in. I could just go spend the night down here. I'll probably catch him, get him about $15, $20 now, and then I can go and probably just spend the night. I can get up in the morning and see, you know, what I'm gonna do. And so I'm like, I ain't got no cigarette. Come on, walk up here to the store and get some. And then I asked him, I say, I can spend the night. You got somewhere I can spend the night, bro? You know, I give you some. And then he like, yeah, I got somewhere you can spend the night at. So anyway, this dude, we get to the store, and it's a whole the money agenda. We get to the store, the police in there. You know, you don't supposed to be buying no cigarette without your ID. All right. And now my face went like this. I ain't have all this hair on my face, and I probably looked a little bit younger then. Okay. So, and then I think I supposed to report it to like the probation thing, and I didn't. Like the first day I got out, and I didn't. So I really don't want the police to stop me now. And so I'm trying to tell him to get the cigarette. He's just like, just do what I told you. So now I get the cigarette, and I used to be addicted to cigarette. So now I just give him the cigarette. I don't even take now out of smoking. I ain't even want no cigarette. I'm just looking for somewhere to go tonight. And I was really addicted to cigarette real bad. And then I'm sitting down, sit down, he talking, and then he just like holding the cigarette. Now I want a cigarette. He just smoking and smoking and smoking. He having mind control over me now. He really controlling my mind. And I don't even know this at that point. And end up finally, probably about, it getting late. I'm like, hey, bro, what's up, bro? We gonna go down there. Where we going? Where your spot at? Or whatever. Then he like, yeah, we're gonna go down there. So I went and found somebody and I bought me some weed. And okay. And we end up going down there. When we go down there, we going like the back. They got these slide though. When we get in there, ain't no furniture in the spot. Ain't no nothing in here. Remember, I met this person because I was afraid over there at my homeboy on spot. Cause now they talking about folk finna come over here. They finna try to buy some guns, bring the guns over here. Let me see what they look like. All that. Now I feel like these folk put something in my drink. I'm scared. Oh man, these folk might try to set me up and kill me. I'm finna get away from around y'all. So I ran from that. Now I'm just looking for somewhere to go. And I got the issue smoking a cigarette. A cigarette. And end up, I go down. It's some stuff that I ain't gonna tell you, but it's an ugly situation happened to me. And some of this stuff I just ain't gonna reveal. So I don't wanna tell you a half truth, but some of this stuff I'm just gonna leave out cause it's some stuff that happened to me. I just don't even wanna say. But I'm telling you like this is real. And anyway, when I get down here, ain't no furniture in the spot, no none of this, whatever. And end up, man, some stuff started happening. I'm like, it's speaking into my mind. They won't tell you like with some. I'm like, if you God, this was truly what I said. I said, if you God, I say, who you is? Is you the devil? Cause he got on a shirt with a skull on it, well a jacket or a hoodie with a skull on it. Some reason I'm like, this God is the devil. I'm like, is you the devil? And then he getting mad, he like, And then I'm like, if you God, then make the light blink. All the light blink. Yeah, this what happened. I say, if you God for real, make the light blink again. Light blink again. And I think I said it a third time. And then I asked him, I said, if you God, tell me how much money I got in my pocket. He never told me. He hit me with some confusion and all this stuff. And so, some stuff happened. So I ended up spending the night down here at this empty house. It's a clean, vacant apartment. And then, I don't know if it happened that night or the next day. And then some stuff happened and I went in Dollar Tree and like, I don't know, he was attacking me with something. And every time he used to pop his fingers, it used to be like, and I could feel the attacks in my mind, but I didn't understand it. And I went in Dollar Tree and for some reason, God just had me saying, fear, I rebuke you. Lust, I rebuke you. Fear, torment, I rebuke you. And every time I would do it, it like they would ring. It seemed like something normal. It was like they were ringing up on the store. It just bing, 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 bing on the thing. And I'm gonna tell you something. I seen some stuff like everything covered. At that point, I seen everything covered with stuff that you won't even imagine everywhere. Okay, and I walked this in the daytime, and then I'm getting so afraid of smoking cigarettes. All right, cause some reason he don't like me smoking cigarette now. And I'm thinking they God. And I'm walking with him. I'm like, God, what you doing down here? Yeah, I'm thinking they God. And I'm thinking they God. Like, I don't like being down here. And this and that. And now, but I'm seeing all type of stuff everywhere we go. I'm talking about all type of stuff. Then we go sit at the bus stop. And it lady like, yo, you going to hell. You going to hell. Yep, and you going to hell. You going to hell. All this stuff happening. And it's like real weird. And then when I get in their house again, it blood all over the floor. It ain't even real blood on the floor. And I'm going to tell you this same thing happened to me after I got delivered from cigarette. I got in the car with this dude and it was blood all on the floor in the car. I was coming from a job interview. And I was just trying to go up the street. Then I asked the dude, he was leaving out the job. And for some reason, I just asked him, like, you'll give me a ride up the street. He may start a conversation with me or something. I'm like, you'll just drop me off at the bus stop. Then he get in there. I've been delivered from cigarettes at that point. I'm just looking for a job. I get in the car, and then he starts smoking cigarette, blood all over the floor. but it ain't really blood that you can see. I know it's a spiritual thing. But I started seeing all this blood and all type of writing all over the floor, everywhere, outside, everywhere. Stuff nobody ain't never probably seen in their life. And anyway, I was seeing that, and then he told me he was doing something, and I'm gonna tell you too. I seen him. He was playing like he was Jesus. I seen him. He wiped sweat off his forehead, and he asked me, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and it looked like blood. It wasn't sweat, and he did it more than one time. But anyway, then my faith was tested too. Like, would I trust God? Even though I was in confusion, I still had faith in God, you know, and God know my heart. See, God know your heart, even no matter what you're going through. Cause I was tested, like, and there was a devil, and he was getting real mad too. I went, and it was some type of way I was enticed to go in this other room, and all the lights was in there out, and roaches was crawling out this room in the other room where I was. And no roaches wasn't in this apartment. It was just it was a speak and span apartment. And then, so I don't know, I was enticed to go in this other room. All the lights was out, and I see all this evil stuff all over the floor, all everywhere. Blood, all type of writing, everywhere. And I go in the room, and before I go in the room, he like, "You want to go in there?" I think that's what he said. I said, "I'll go in there, it don't matter." And then he like, "Well, whatever you see, it can't hurt you." And it was really God making him say that. But I never seen nothing but the stuff on the floor. He said, if you see something, it can't hurt you. And then I was having thoughts in my mind about a big old bear coming out of somewhere and just attacking me, all type of stuff. My faith was strong. I was just sitting in there, and I was just thanking to God, even though I was just like, "God, please help me. I know God said he ain't gonna let nothing happen to me, so I'm in here." And it was all type of evil going on. And then at the point when he wiped the blood off his forehead, I think I spent almost like 3 days walking around with this person, okay? And end up and then at the point, it was about to come a point in time when he was about to turn into something else. He was about to turn into a creature. Like, yeah, this human being finna turn, like a human finna turn into something else. And I'm gonna tell you something too. I ain't tell you this. Like, I had dreads. Mine was short. He had real long dreadlocks. And guess what? All his hair was gone in the top of his head, like right here. Except for it was real short. And his hair was real long in the back. And guess what? All my hair, like a little later, all my hair fell out in the front like that. Okay? And anyway, but when I went in the room, I went and sat in there, and I sat in there, and I sat in there. I seen all the stuff on the floor, but then in nothing, I didn't see no like spiritual creatures walking around or nothing. And and then one point he was just doing like this. Every time he would do it, it would attack my mind with a thought, and I could feel it, but I didn't understand what it was. And you know, and at the point he was about to turn into another creature, you know, and God got me out of there, and I took off running up the street. God just made me stand on, like, "I rebuke you, Satan, in the mighty name of King Jesus. I rebuke you, Satan. I rebuke you. I rebuke you. I rebuke you." And God made me take off running. And then I ended up in the hospital. And I'm going to tell you something else too. And when I ended up in the hospital, I wasn't afraid no more. And I'm going to tell you something else happened too. And I heard this lady talk about this on the on there with TB Joshua. This was way after this happened. This was in 2020, before I got delivered. This lady, and I had the same dream after that happened to me. This lady said something about when you get initiated and into the spiritual world, you know, devils come out of trees, and you could come out of a tree, and it's like an entry point. And I had that dream like I was going in and coming out of a tree, you know, in my dream. But that's what I'm telling you. The whole thing of it is, like, you know, through whatever it is, and they're gonna get you by yourself, and it ain't no way to be around it. It ain't no way to go around it. It ain't nowhere to go around it. You got to go through it. And God just saved me from it. Because to tell you the truth, I was about to be rapping and all this stuff then. And then after all that happened, that's when I really end up getting in contact with the Illuminati and all this stuff. And I had this record deal, and then I tried to go with this bigger company and all this stuff. But like, it's like it ain't nowhere around it. Everybody got to go through it, and whatever it is, it's gonna be through some way. If it's fear, they're gonna work through that. And guess what? If they gotta get you through somebody, you know, they're gonna even get you through that. Like, get you, you're gonna have to face that situation. Only way it's avoidable if God says it's avoidable for you. But I don't believe God let nobody avoid that. Everybody got to be faced with that choice. And it's just God that got me out of there. Because what I want to say is, when I was thinking about that rapping, and God just saved my soul. That's why I say unto them that's chosen. Because God know if I really knew that God was really real, I would really serve God with all my heart. And right now I serve God with all my heart. Look at me, I'm out here and I don't even really go in their house like that, be real. I can go in their house. Let me see if they got the door locked or they don't have it locked. See, I can go in there, but I don't really care about being in here like that. It ain't, it's not my house. It's none of that. And I just stay outside, and I got my tent, and I live like Jesus. And I just look at this, and I'm just going to tell you the truth. Think about this. What if people had to go through this? Because people thinking about the people that's going to get left behind down here that ain't living right. So what they going to do if you can't survive without this stuff, if you can't survive without a house, if you can't survive without eating 3 meals a day, if you can't survive without the luxuries of the world, then only thing I could see the people gonna say, well, I just go ahead and take it and hope God forgive me. And that most definitely, that's unrighteousness, and that most definitely ain't right. And that's what a lot of people doing. They just like, I just take it and just hope God forgive me, hope God forgive them. But what the word of God say, the way I said it before, is loopholes in the law. In the law, and one of the biggest loopholes is love. But who want to take? I'm not gonna do that. Like with myself, I let God uphold me. And so people don't even got the. People need to be able to have strength to stand and not be conformed to the luxuries of this world. And I just want to tell you about some of that stuff, what happened with me. Some of the stuff I did leave out, I'm going to tell you that because it's a lot of stuff that I could tell you. Maybe I had to get to know you really on a closer personal level before I tell you some of that stuff that happened to me. Because I ain't really never told nobody that stuff that happened to me like that. A lot of stuff that happened to me in that situation. But yeah, the worstest thing I ever been through, and it's some supernatural things that happen. That like some stuff that some really, I could just tell you some really stuff that happens supernaturally. And man, yeah, and they all have spiritual powers who have it. So just put the word of God in your heart. And that's why it says Psalm 119:10, thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. And it's just God that saves you. Because yeah, what I did want to say, what I would keep leaving out, I was trying to rap. And and I know I was greater than a lot of other people. I was greater than most other people. And if they would have just told me, hey, we're gonna give you all of this money, promise me a lie, hey, you just go ahead and get it, well, I probably would have asked for the money first. Then I would have probably just said, hey, I'll go ahead and get it. So it's God that kept me. It's not me that kept me, it's God that kept me. And it's just God that uphold me. And God upholds you in your ignorance until you have enough knowledge to, everybody don't be brought to the same level of knowledge, but you're going to have enough knowledge to either make a choice, for good or for evil. So I'm going to let you go with that, but I just definitely wanted to, leave you with that. So thank God, thank God, thank God in the mighty name of King Jesus, and, have a good evening.